All right, YouTube, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I'm also doing this on stream, so you'll hear me chatting a little bit. But this is my patch review of the 23.4 patch notes that are coming out on June 1st. There's only 3 changes, kind of 4. But I have some pretty scathing things to say, and this isn't anything. I don't know. I don't know how to sugarcoat it, but I'm gonna say some mean stuff. I'm also gonna say some stuff that other people probably wouldn't agree with, even though it's very, we're gonna throw out some unpopular opinions and some popular ones. All right. So, the first change was the new hero, Azumat. The colossal tentacle monster from standard is also getting added to BG's. So Tentacular is the hero power. Passive, start at combat. Summon a 2/2 tentacle with taunt. Upgrades after you sell a minion. So for clarifications, the tentacle is a beast. So the tentacle with taunt is a beast. The upgrade that you're getting each time you sell a minion is +1/1. This is like your Sarge in the when you start combat, you need to have the board space open. You can't wait till something dies and it goes. It has to have an open board slot when combat starts to summon. This is a bad hero. This is a bad hero, and even worse than being a bad hero, it is supremely uninteresting. It isn't dynamic at all. It's just another boring tempo hero, and you have to play down a board slot. Don't get me wrong, this isn't the worst hero in the game. You're gonna get tempo early. The 2/2 is okay, but you don't start selling until you might have one sell on turn 3 if you play a standard curve with the token. But you're not selling that often early game. You're trying to build up minions on your board, so this tentacle is gonna give you a little bit of tempo, but not a ton. And so you can win early fights and stuff. So it's not gonna be the worst hero, but it's just not interesting. And if you saw my last video where I was talking about the heroes in Battlegrounds, our biggest problem is that there's heroes that aren't interesting, that aren't dynamic, and that aren't desirable to play, right? I will play a worse hero if it's fun, than play the best hero if it is just mind-numbingly boring. And this, on that spectrum of Panda, the most fun hero for me, to I don't know, I don't even know there's so many boring heroes, to be honest. I can't even choose. This is closer to that end of the boring heroes. It's not something that you interact with or do interesting things with. I don't like playing Yasharge because I don't like playing down units. It's compare this to something like Galliwix, where you're imagine, would you rather have a gold or a 1/1 stat on a vanilla taunt? I would rather have gold. The gold is interesting. I can play around with it. That gold can turn into stats. My problem with this isn't that it's bad, it's just that it's not good, and it's really not fun. So that's our first change. And as always, players with perks will have it for 2 weeks before it is, expanded to the general public, and it will be offered a lot. So in that perks set period, it should get offered to every game. Whether it'll be picked, I doubt it, but it'll be offered. We're also getting a new minion in the form of Bublet, a new tier 1 elemental. It has a 2/5 stat line, and after this minion takes exactly 1 damage, destroy it. Yeah, so I mean, you look at it instantly and you say, whoa, 2/5, that's a pretty crazy stat line for a 1-drop with no buffs, just on its own, 2/5. And it is. But it also has the downside of just dying to any instance of 1 damage. And it needs to be exactly 1 damage, so it won't die to, 0, or it has to be exactly 1. The problem is with this unit is that I don't see a purpose to it. I don't understand how this is helping the game play out more interestingly. This is a strong card that if you have something that counters it, you're not going to buy early game minions based on Bublet being in the game. You're not going to buy 1 attack units all of a sudden because you're like, oh, well, you could counter Bublet. Maybe there'll be some extra value to those minions and they won't be as bad, but it's not something that you're going to play around with. It dilutes the 1-drop pool, especially when elementals are in. Elementals had pretty solid 1-drops in Celemental and Refreshing Anomaly. Those are going to be cut down. This is another 1-drop Ellie for Nomi to cycle with, and for what's the rolling one? I'm blanking. The rolling one. Recycling Wraith. Recycling Wraith. Other than that, this is just diluting the elemental pool even more, right? You don't want to play this with Lil Reg. This is not something that you want to hit with Stasis. This is not something that you really want to get out of Genie. It's not something that you want off of Tavern Tempest. It's, outside of being an elemental, is a nerf to elementals, right? And I mean, elementals didn't need a nerf. Certainly, if you were looking at all the elementals that needed a buff, the 2 that benefit, Nomi and Recycling Wraith, are the ones that did not need it. Lil Reg, Genie, all these other things are the elementals that did need buffs. This is not helpful. It is kind of a toxic early game, in that you can either win fights if a player doesn't have something to counter, or you lose fights if a player does, right? And again, because players aren't going to play around it, it just turns more things in combat and in your game into coin flips. And that's bad, right? That's we had Baron's Blacksmith, and it wasn't a pleasant experience where you could win a fight if someone had Baron's Blacksmith miss, or you could lose a fight and take a ton of damage. You're just going to take extra damage if Bublet survives. I don't understand the purpose it serves besides diluting the 1-drop pool, diluting the elemental pool. I guess making econ worse is one thing, but you're also making tempo on one stronger, so it just isn't a mechanic that I'd like to see in the game. It's not a card that I feel has a positive impact on the game, and that's where I'm kind of lost on this one. And so yeah, I think this is a bad addition to the game. Also, it's cute though. It's cute though. Look at it. It's cute though. And Diablo. Okay, this is where my unpopular opinions are going to come out. Chat's going to kind of lose it, I'm sure. I don't have a problem with Diablo coming back. It's for a week. I can deal with anything for a week. I understand that they're cross-promoting stuff, so it's whatever. Just if you don't want to play, I mean, it sucks. Maybe, but it won't be in every game. Some people won't pick it because they didn't have fun playing it. I'm fine with events for a week, even if they don't tickle everyone's fancy. I think that Diablo is not balanced, though. If you're looking for balance, I don't think that got, significantly altered since the last time we saw Diablo. They did adjust some of Diablo's loot. So some of these cards here, I'm not going to go into the details, but they've been adjusted. It's still extremely strong. You're going to play Diablo in the same way. It's going to be just as frustrating as it was before. I wasn't a huge fan of Diablo, but I'm a fan of events in Battlegrounds. And again, for a week, I can deal with it. So, you know, of all the things, I think a lot of people were talking about Diablo being, oh god, Diablo is coming back, Diablo is returning, you know, and worried about that. But I don't. This is the least of my problems with this patch. I am kind of disappointed with the hero and the minion. These are the 3 changes. This is it. This doesn't change the game. It doesn't change the meta. It doesn't. It just makes things feel worse. That is bad. That is like, whether it's an extra econ thing or flexibility. Like I was talking about it in our video on dragons. Like, Red Whelp needs adjustment. Red Whelp needs adjustment. We don't need another 1-drop that is gonna increase, polarize the early game, right? Into who you match up. Like, those are the things that people don't like, right? People don't feel good about playing a game when they don't have control, right? Like, for high MMR, you can talk about the competitiveness, but for every MMR, how the game plays, like, these feelings are what's important, because that's what gets people to continue to play the game. And I don't think this has a positive impact on making people want to play the game, because it just feels more luck based and less decision and strategy based. So I don't like this new minion, and the new hero is an addition to, it's diluting our hero pool. It's not a good addition. It's not interesting. It's not fun. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just, I would rather have fun, interesting heroes. And the thing is that I know the devs can create these fun, interesting heroes. We have them. We have a lot of them. They're so fun to play that it puts these heroes to shame. Give us more of that. I know that it's there. I know that it's there. Panda is so fun. Like, Janus is interesting. Like, there's all these interesting heroes. Even, like, Scabs is a great semi-recent addition. It's strong. It's good, but it's flexible, right? I mean, even Yogg has a more interesting set of lines because of the flexibility. This doesn't have flexibility. It doesn't give econ to change, like, play. Like, it's just stats for. It's a passive. You know, we could do better. We can do better. I want less of these heroes, not more. So that's why this is disappointing. Dominion, I don't like the mechanic. I think that things should overall be trying to make the player base happier. And Diablo, you know, whatever. Actually, I'm fine. I don't even care. If you don't like Diablo, let me know in the comments below. That's fine. I'm good. It's a week, you know? It's a week. It's okay. And yeah, there's one other thing. I'm scrolling down. There's a lot of Mercs updates. If you're a Mercs player, congratulations. There's a lot of stuff for you. Arena updates. There's arena updates. They're doing lots of Booker heroes if you play the solo content. This is overcapped feature. You can go up to more than 30 in deck building. That's a nice quality of life update, I will say. Good job on that. This is our other Battlegrounds. There's a few Battlegrounds changes here. If you have an aftermarket board, if it'll override the classic board, which is great. It just gives more value. That's a good thing. This is an absolutely great change. people that pay for cosmetics are supporting the game. That's a good thing. And the people that don't get to enjoy those cosmetics, it's a good thing. It's just a great change. This is good stuff. This should happen. Like, these sorts of changes should happen all the time. There's no downside, only upside, in my opinion. Spellcraft spells will now be added to your hand after any wagers won by Lord Bear. So Bear just had this thing where you could lose coins because you get all these spellcraft and then the coins wouldn't add because of your hero part. It's just changing the order. Good change. Good change. So yeah, that's the patch. I think this is like one of the worst patches that we've had, even though it's only 3 changes. It's not gonna shake up the meta too much outside of the week with Diablo, and that's fine. I think the meta's in a really good spot right now. I'd love to see more things shake it up. I'd love to see more minor changes, but I'm not a huge fan of these 2 additions, and since there's not anything else, that kind of weights it to the lower end of our, the historical rating of patches that we have. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in live content like this, that you have questions and thoughts and things that you want to interact with, be sure to check out our stream, twitch.tv/PockyPlays. Otherwise, be sure to drop a follow, like, subscribe. It's not a follow on YouTube, my bad. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks, as always. Peace. All right, cool. Yeah, we were doing a YouTube video. We're back, chat. We're back, chat. Any thoughts? That was the fastest patch review we've done.